Yeah, thank you. So, guys, thank you so much. Join the session. So today we're going to discussing about like DevOps. Okay. So nowadays, like everyone like DevOps. Okay, what is it? Like what is a DevOps? So where we can use like DevOps. So previous DevOps and like present DevOps. Okay, so everything like if you go like any company, any business challenges, everything we need to do like all the automation things. Okay, so if you want to do like all the automation things, so we need to do like all the process. We have like some processes there. So guys, before going to like DevOps, okay, so we'll go for the like before DevOps. Okay, so if you go for like previous days, so everyone using like a waterfalls method. I mean, I think everyone knows like a waterfalls method. So previous days, if you go for like any company, like any organization, so everyone they need to implement the waterfalls method. Okay, if you want to deploy the like if you want to run the any application, okay, that project needs to implement the waterfalls method. Okay, so like what is waterfalls method? Okay, so let's say for example, simple example. Okay, the main objective is I wanted to build the one house. Okay, so if you want to build the like any house, initially we need to gather the like all the requirements like sand, something concrete. So everything we need to gather the all the requirements. Okay, so once we got the requirements, then we need to give the house architecture. Okay, so once we got the architecture, then we have like some people is there, they will do the like they will do the, like all the implementation, like all the like step by step processes. So once they got the like, implementation is done, so finally they need to do like all the slapping things and they're testing all things. Okay, so everything is done, so finally we are going to do the like house farming. So means it's like a all the things like a step by step procedure. Okay, so compared to like same thing in this technical level. Okay, so I wanted to run a one application, python application, like any paytm application, something like any flipkart application. So if you want to run the application, so first we need to gather the like all the requirements like the so we need to use like a java programming language, something python language, something like java go language. So first we need to gather the like all the requirements. So we need to use like jenkins, and something we need to use like github, something ansible. So we need to gather the all the requirements. Okay, so once we got the requirements, then we need to give the architecture. Okay, so we need to give it the like this is like architecture. Okay, so how's it going like project, everything we need to give the high level architecture. Okay, so once we got the designing part, then developers they will write the coding part. Okay, so like a java, something like python, anything. Okay, so they need to develop the coding part. So once the coding part is done, okay, once the development is done, they need to do like a testing part. Okay, we have the testers, every company we have the like testers is there, they will do the testing part. Okay, so everything is done, so finally we are going to deploy into the like production things. So once the application deployed into like a production, so we can easily run the application, like we can simply say paytm.com, so we can able to run the our application. Okay, so this is the like end-to-end flow in this previous it's like a waterfalls method. So means in this waterfalls method it's like a step by step procedure. So this is the one step. Okay, then designing is the one more step, then this is like one more step. So after completion of one step, then we can go for the like next step. So in this waterfalls method, so we are having like a lot of drawbacks. Okay, so in this waterfalls method we have a lot of drawbacks is there. So first thing is a cost. Okay, so we need to spend the like lakhs of rupees in this project, entire project. Okay, so and also like performance, the performance also like very slow actually. Okay, and we need to spend the more time. Okay, we need to spend the more time. And one more thing, main thing, there is no proper collaboration between the developers and testing team and the operations team. Okay, so main thing we need collaboration. Okay, without collaboration, so we can't do like anything in this project level. let's say for example, I am the developer. Okay. So one more guy is like testing. Okay, he will do the testing. So I done the my development part. So my side everything is working fine. Okay. Then finally I will hand over to the like testers. Okay. So what he's saying, so in his laptop, he's saying something not working. But whereas come to my point of view, it's like working. Okay. But whereas complete tester point of view, it's not working. So means there is no like proper communication between the like all the development team and like something test team all things. Okay. So there lot of drawbacks in lot of drawbacks is in this waterfalls method. So to reduce this type of things, then agile came to the picture. Okay. In agile also, so there are a lot of drawbacks is there, some advantages there. Okay. So finally, okay, so finally we came to the DevOps. Okay, finally we came to the so DevOps. Basically, this PDF files. So previously in my organization, we given my POs to my client. It's like a one project actually. Okay, it's like a CloudWays. Okay, if you go to like a browser, we can simply search on the Skyways. Okay, just to change the name. Okay, it's like a Caribbean application. It's like my company actually. So you can simply click on the Skyways. Okay, so it's like a traveling application. Okay, so that is the one thing. So now today we are going to discussing about the like what is DevOps. Okay, so what is the main advantage of like DevOps, so where we can use like a DevOps, on which scenario we need to use DevOps. Okay, so we can select all things. So DevOps. Okay, so DevOps is a nowadays everyone's saying like DevOps is the one process. I'm sorry, basically DevOps, everyone's saying like DevOps is the one tool, one technology like this. Basically, okay, DevOps is DevOps is a not like any technology. Okay, so DevOps is like a process. Okay, it's like a continuous process. DevOps is like a one methodology. DevOps is like a one methodology. Okay, so means, see in this picture showing like, right, so first we need to do the like a development part. Okay, so we need to do the like development, then we need to do the testing, then deployment, then monitoring, then customer feedback, then business planning. So again back to the develop. It's like a continuous process. Okay, so DevOps is a combination of continuous integration and continuous delivery part. Okay, so DevOps is a, it's like a collaboration between the like a combination of continuous integration and continuous delivery part. And one more thing, DevOps is a, it's like a combination of like we can say collaboration between the, like all the development team and the testing team and all the like operations team. Okay, see in this picture, right, so in this picture we are showing like a DevOps is a collaboration between the like, development team and operations team and creating like testing. So in this DevOps, we have the like proper communication between like other teams. So we can easily we can sit together. We can work on the like all the coding part. Okay. So if I am facing like any issue, simply I will ask to like a tester. Okay. If he's facing some issues, we can simply ask to like another like a development team, something operations team, anything. So basically, in this DevOps side, so it's like a continuous process. Okay, so there is like a full stop. Like it's like a continuous process, continuous integration and continuous delivery part. So in this what is continuous integration and what is the continuous delivery part? Okay, so in this CA part, we have like multiple tools. I think everyone knows like all the tools. Like in this CI, we have like Jenkins, TeamCity, Bombo. There are a lot of thousands of tools. Sorry, hundred of thousands of tools is there. Okay, so but we have mentioned like some tools like Jenkins, TeamCity, Bombo, Circle. So here I have multiple tools. Okay, then same thing, CD part. Okay, continuous delivery part. So there we are having like around Ansible, Chef, Puppet. There are a lot of tools is there. Then versioning tools. So we have a lot of tools like monitoring, something ELK, Grafana, so JobX. So lot of tools is like containerization, Docker is there. Then clustering purpose we can use like a Docker Swarm, Kubernetes. Okay, so you're having a lot of tools is there. Okay, then back to the like DevOps. Okay, so in this DevOps side, so this is my company. If you go to like any company, any organization, okay, so we need to follow the same procedure. But they will change the, maybe they will change the tools, but the process is same thing. Okay, if you go for like any company, anywhere, okay, the process is like same thing only. Okay, so now the main agenda is, because the main motto is, I wanted to deploy the application to production level. Like I wanted to deploy the application to the production level. So let's say, for example, my application is something like, I can say something. Just a second. So just I will show you one application. Okay. Okay. Just a second, please. Okay. So basically, this is my application tech data, like AWS DevOps.tk. This is the my company. Like sorry, this is the one of the application. Okay. So I wanted to deploy the this application to production level. Okay. So if you want to deploy the application, okay. So initially we need to gather the like all the requirements, same thing. So what are things I'm showing in this previous picture. Okay, so but initially we need to gather the, like all the requirements. Okay, so once we got the like all the requirements, like something like Java programming language, like C for Jenkins, something, once we got like all the requirements, then we need to do the like all the next thing. Okay, now thing is, I have the multiple developers user. So basically now in this current this current project, I am using like Java. Okay, it's like a Java programming language. So whereas come to like in this developers, right? So like at different locations, we are having the like multiple developers. So in this Hyderabad location, we are having their own 5 members user. Okay, in Andhra Pradesh, we are having their own 5 members user. Okay, in Bangalore, we are having like 3 members user. So like in different locations, we are having the multiple developers. Okay, so once the developer commit the code to once the developers done the coding part, okay, they need to store somewhere. Okay, they need to store the somewhere. So we have the like something like GitHub. Okay, we are having the something you can select GitHub. Okay, so this is like my GitHub account. It's like a Praveen Jira. Okay, so this is the GitHub. So there we need to push the all the our code. Okay, so whatever the developers are commit done the coding part. Okay, so finally they need to commit the code to our this repository. Okay, so in this GitHub, so we are having like two things: public repository and private repository. Okay, so public repository, so everyone can access to like entire global level. Okay, but whereas come to like private repositories, so inside the organization, so let's say for example, this is the my project. Okay, it's like a private. Okay, no one can access, only I have the access is there. Okay, so and this is all the public access, only everyone can access. This is one of like private means like a company project. This is also my company project. Okay, so there are a lot of repositories is there. So the main point is, so once the developers done the coding part, okay, they need to commit the code to our GitHub. We are calling as a source code management. Okay, so in this GitHub we need to store the entire our code. Okay, this is the GitHub. Okay, so we are having the all the coding part there. So it's like more of security, we can maintain the like all the security part. So once a developer commit the code to this repository, then we need to do the like entire CI/CD pipeline. We need to do the like fully automation things. So once you click on the one script, okay, the finally I need to do like entire continuous integration, then deployment, then monitoring, everything we need to set up. Okay, so in this continuous integration part, we are using the like Jenkins. Okay, so we can like Jenkins, TeamCity, Bombo. So compared to like all the CA tools, Jenkins is the most popular continuous integration tool. Means it's, because it's like a open source tool. Okay, so in this Jenkins we are having the so thousands of plugins is there. Okay, so we can easily configure the all the plugins. So by using Jenkins, okay, I need to build the code. See, basically, developers commit the code to our repository. So we are having the multiple files. These are all like multiple files. So if you want to deploy the like, if you want to deploy like any application, we need to build a one var file. Okay, we need to build a one var file. See, these are like all the like applications. And this is a one application like a Java application dot var file. Means if we want to like we are having like multiple types, okay, like a dot var, dot zip, then dot jar files. So we can check a lot of like files here. Okay, if you want to get the like dot var files, okay, so in this through Jenkins we are going to build the other things. So the point is, once developers commit the code to a repository, so by using Jenkins we need to build the our code. Okay, so finally you will get the one var file. Okay, finally you get the one var file. In this Jenkins part we need to install the one plugin called like Maven. It's like a build tool. Okay, with the help of Maven we are going to build the our file. We are going to build the our var file or jar file or something like zip file. Okay, so once the building part is done, then we need to analyze the our code quality. So means, so maybe sometimes you will miss the like code quality. So by using SonarQube, we need to analyze the our code quality. If something anything wrong, so we can easily analyze the all the things in this SonarQube. Okay, so and one more thing, we need to configure like Nexus. Okay, so they miss the like a Nexus is like a artifactory. So once we got the like a var file, the var file it need to store into the our Nexus, either Nexus or JFrog. Both are just like a artifactory tools. Okay, so finally we need to do the testing part. It's like we need to do the unit testing. Okay, so finally in this continuous integration part you will get the one perfect var file, either var file or zip file, something like jar file, anything. Okay, so once we got the var file, the main objective is we need to run the application to the production level. Okay, so if you want to run the application, so we need to build the infrastructure. Okay, let's say for example, simple example. So just now I purchased the one fresh laptop. Okay, just now I purchased the one fresh laptop. Okay, so the main objective is I need inside the laptop I need to install the some of the like some softwares like Skype. Okay, something like Thunderbird, something Mozilla, Chrome. These are all the application. Okay, if we want to install like all the application, what we need to do, we need to install the first OS. Okay, we need to install the anything like either Ubuntu, something like Linux, Red Hat, anything. We need to install the OS. Then we need to configure like all the RAM, CPU, something like RAM, memory, hard disk, everything. Okay, so finally we need to configure like user level, then something for security. So finally we need to connect it to the like internet. So from there you can able to like download the like all the required things. The means, okay, there sorry, means, so if you want to install like any application in, we need to build the our infrastructure. Means they need to like OS, something RAM. So laptop is a simply we can select one server. Okay, so Chrome is a one application. Okay, same thing, whereas come to like in this CD part also. Okay, so we are going to do the like entire automation. We need to deploy the application. So once we got the var file in the CA part, okay, then by using CD part we are going to deploy the application. So with the help of Ansible, okay, so we use Ansible, something Chef, Puppet, anything we can use, either Terraform, we can use the like anything. Okay, so there in this project we use the Ansible only. So we use the Ansible. Okay, so by using Ansible, I need to build the one infrastructure. Like we are having like multiple environments like dev, UAT, then testing, pre-production, post-production, then production. So we are having the multiple environments. Okay, so by using Ansible, I am going to create a one environment. Okay, it's like a one server. So we can say, see, this is a one server. See, this is a one server. Then this is a one more server. So this is a one more server. And this is the one more server. So we need to create a one Ansible server. We need to create a one dev environment server. Okay. So once we got the infrastructure, okay. So on top of it, we need to deploy the application. Okay, by using Ansible. Okay. So by using Ansible, we can easily see. We need to write the some playbooks. We are calling as a playbooks. So this is a one of the like a playbook. Let's say like a Tomcat. Okay, so if you want to like deploy like any Java application, so initially we need to initial like Java, then Apache Tomcat, then all the application, everything. Okay, so once you run this playbook, so finally the we can deploy the our application. Okay, so we need to write the small scripting part. Okay, so there we need to what are the like we got like a var file in this CA part. We need to deploy that application into this development deployment into the like, dev server with the help of Ansible. So by using Ansible, we are going to deploy the our Java application. Okay, so once we got the everything is fine, okay, everything is fine, then same way we need to create a one more test environment. Okay, if we got like any issues in this dev environment, so we need to raise the ticket. We are using the bug reporter. It's like a ticket raising tools like Jira, 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 or we can use the RTC as well as RTC. Okay, so once the deployment is done this dev environment, so we need to create a one more test environment. We need to create a one more test environment. Okay, so what are the things we depend like a dev environment, same application we need to do into the like, testing environment as well as. Okay, so once the testing portal is done, then what we did like we test the manually as well as like testing the manually. Okay, so means so we are going to deploy the application to the production. So we need to test the each and every part. Okay, we need to check the each and every part. Okay, so everything is fine. Okay, everything is fine. So finally we are going to create a one more production environment. We are going to create a final production environment. Okay, so once we got the infrastructure, okay, just what are the things we depend like in this test server, we are just promoting to the our production server. We are just promoting to the, so we have one configuration file is there, so just we need to copy into the that production level. So once the application deployment is done this production level, so if you got like any issues, so in this spot in this live only we need to do like all the coding part, something like any issues, we need to check the all the things. Okay, everything is fine. Finally we need to configure the monitoring all. We need to configure the monitoring. Okay, so finally we can everyone can able to access to the our application. Okay, so we can manage all the services, then we can access the customer things like all the supporting members. So everything in this Jenkins, Ansible, ELK, something Docker, everything we running on the purely AWS only, either AWS, something Azure, something Google Cloud, anything we can use on things. Okay, so if you go to like any company anywhere, like same flowchart only. Okay, maybe they will use like a different tools. Okay, so we are using like a GitHub. Okay, maybe someone we can use like either Bitbucket, something GitLab. Okay, so there is like a Jenkins. Maybe some company they will use like a TeamCity or something Bombo. Okay, so there I use like a Ansible. Maybe someone can use like a Terraform. Okay, so some like any other tool. Okay, so there I use like monitoring purpose ELK stack. Okay, maybe some companies they will use like any JobX or Splunk. Okay, so like same procedure. Okay, this is the my company one of the flow chart. Okay, so for like anyone doubts, please, anyone having any doubts, guys, please.
Excuse me, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please.
Where does Kubernetes come in this cycle?
Yeah, so there we are using like Ansible, right? Okay, so once we got like a var file, okay, once we got the var file, okay, so separate we need to create a one environment. Okay, so on top of it, we are going to initial like all the kubectl, something corps or like Kubernetes. We can create a one virtual machine. So on top of it, we can do the like all the Kubernetes cluster, all things. So there I use like Ansible. Okay, so instead of Ansible, we can create a one more Kubernetes server. Okay, so there we can do like all the clustering part. Okay, they simply use like Ansible. Okay, so there we can like one more like Docker server is there, like similarly like a Kubernetes as well as.
Okay.
See, in this current company, I'm working Kubernetes as well. This is like all the commands to do like all the things. Okay, so I will show you like all the real time all the things. Guys, anyone doubts, please? Anyone, guys, please? Okay. See, so finally, this is the like DevOps end-to-end flow. Okay. So then simply I mentioned like few points about the like all the this diagram. Okay. So there we use like Jenkins and Ansible, then Git, Jira, SonarQube, and everything is hosted on the AWS only. Okay. So once the development team develop the application using like any like a Java, something Python, all the programming language with the help of IDs. Okay, we need to like all the coding part. Okay, so once the developers will have the commit the code to our GitHub. Okay, Jenkins will automate the entire build process. Okay, okay, so once we got like build is successfully is done. Okay, so in this Jenkins only we are having the thousands of plugins. Okay, so once the build is successfully done, you will get the alerts. Okay, so if something went wrong, you will get the like alerts. Okay, so there we can configure like all the Docker plugin, Ansible plugin, something like any thousands of plugins is there. So in this current this is our Jenkins server actually. Okay, this is my company Jenkins server. Okay, so there we have like thousands of plugins. Simply we can do the like all the things. Okay, so then by using SonarQube, we need to check the our code quality. Okay, we need to check the our code quality. Okay, so then finally by using PHP testing, we are going to test the our things. Okay, so above what everything is done, finally with the help of Ansible, we are going to automate the entire so we are going to create environments. So from there we are going to deploy the our application. Okay, so finally everything is done. So if you have like any issues by using Jira, we are going to raise the tickets. Okay, so finally everything is done, we are going to deploy the application to the production level. Okay, so this is the like end-to-end flow only. Okay, so in this project, in this, anyone having any doubts in this DevOps? Okay, anyone, please raise the hand. Okay, so we can, I can tell you. Anyone, please. For in this course, basically I'm going to teach you like all the tools like initially Linux, then if you want like AWS, I will teach like AWS. In this DevOps, I'm going to teach you like initially Git. Okay, so first Git, then like Jenkins. Okay, so then Ansible, then Docker, Kubernetes, then Terraform, then ELK. Okay, so I think everyone having my course content. Okay, so this is my course content. So just me show you. Okay, so this is like and this initially like Git. So everything like Git merge, Git branching strategy, everything. In this Jenkins part, we are going to look all the Jenkins crystal job, then like a Jenkins pipeline script. Okay, so SonarQube configuration, Nexus configuration, then JFrog. Okay, then master slave configuration, then Jenkins pipeline jobs, then S3 configuration, email plugins, then everything like Docker plugin, how to configure Docker plugin, Ansible plugin, everything. Okay, so once this thing is done, so fine, and then Docker. Okay, so like Docker Swarm, then Docker registry, Docker containers, everything we're going to look at Docker. Then once the Docker is done, okay, so finally we're going to look at Ansible. Okay, So how to write the, like all the playbooks, then how to roles, okay, then Ansible Tower, Ansible Galaxy, Ansible Vault, all things. Okay, then in this Kubernetes, okay, so how to set up the, like all the clustering part. Okay, so how to set up, so there I missed some points there. Okay, so how to set up the, like clustering part, then kubectl, minikube, kops, then elk, okay, for monitoring purpose. Okay, how to monitor the application things. Okay, so then how to dashboards, okay, everything. Then finally, like Terraform. Okay, so same Terraform also I'm going to teach, like how to build the infrastructure by using Terraform. So creation of like all the AWS server, something, how to install like all the packages, everything. Okay, so this is my course content. Okay, so um, I think this is like a end-to-end flow. Okay, so yeah, anyone doubts, please, guys? Anyone doubts? Technically, anyone having any doubts, please?
I don't have any doubts, but by the way, this is Hari.
Okay, hit me.
Kind of tool you guys use for the deployment purpose in a Kubernetes cluster to deploy the code?
Sorry, I can repeat
What
it.
kind of tool you use to deploy the code in the Kubernetes cluster, like a .NET framework? Basically, if you are using the Kubernetes, I think I'm from Azure side. So
Okay.
basically, in my company, we use
Yeah,
kind
so we can use like
of
any
.NET tool.
Java application, something like any Python application, anything. Okay, so
Yeah, basically, so what tool we use, you use in your company to deploy the code into the Ansible, or you're telling Ansible, looks like you're using Ansible. So
yeah,
in Kubernetes, what kind of tool you use?
yeah. For
Go ahead.
yeah, sorry. Can you yeah, please continue. I'll take.
Yeah, yeah. Basically, I'm looking for the tool name to deploy the code into the
Yeah,
Kubernetes cluster.
so basically in this Kubernetes, right? So initially we need to, there are multiple bases, but in this my current company, we are in like this process. So we're having the like multiple containers. Okay, we already pushed all the containers to Docker Hub. It's like a private repository. Okay, so from there we are going to create like all the by using kubectl. We are going to do the all the pods, then deployment things. Okay, that is a one-way procedure, and we have like a cops also is there. Okay, by using cops, I think there is like a particular tool actually. Okay, so yeah, like kubectl is like it's like a command line interface. Then cops is there. So with the help of minikube, we can do like all the things, all the clustering part, everything.
Yeah, that is a configuration part in the Kubernetes itself. So basically,
Yeah.
my basic question is, so you are using kubectl as a interface tool
Yes, exactly.
uh, to do whatever the configurations you want to do.
Yeah.
So the same kubectl to deploy the code itself too. That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Guys, remaining anyone doubts, please? So basically nowadays trending is like more of Kubernetes and Docker. Okay. So if you go for like any company, any organization, so now also like recently we given one pivot to my client. Okay. So previously we were like Docker. So Docker some we are using. So we given pivots to our client. So they very impressed with like Kubernetes. Now we're implementing like one more project to our client. So every company using the like involving like Kubernetes. Okay, so there I'm going to like show you like how to set up like all the clustering part, then so how is the main orchestration purpose, then everything. Yeah, guys, if you have like any doubts, please raise the hand. Okay, so I'm very happy to
I have a question.
yeah, please.
Um, I'm not sure if I can ask at this point, but I'm just asking.
Yeah, please.
What's the difference between a Docker Swarm and Kubernetes in terms of
Yeah, there are
performance?
Yeah, there are a lot of drawback advantages there compared like Docker Swarm. Okay, so if you use like a Docker Swarm, okay, let's say for example, okay, simple question. I mean simple answer. Okay, I'm having the around 5 containers. Okay, so I'm running like 5 containers is there. Okay, so something unfortunately something went wrong. Okay, so the container maybe the container will die or something crash. Okay, who will take care of all the like status of the all the health status everything. Okay, so we need to take care of like we need to do like manually. Okay, so in this like a Docker swarm but whereas come to Kubernetes, right? Okay, so everything Kubernetes will take care of. If something went wrong, automatically it will up the our that node. Okay, that is one main advantage. And one more thing, in this Docker Swarm there is no like auto scaling. Okay, but whereas come to like in this Kubernetes we are having the our own auto scaling. And also in this Docker Swarm we need to create our network. But whereas come to this Kubernetes, every pod it will create a own network. It will create once you up the Kubernetes, okay, it will create a our own network. Okay, each and every pod you will get the your own IP address. It will assign the own IP address. Okay, and it's like a uh, once you in this Docker Swarm, so there is no like a monitoring. We need to do the entire manually, like anything something Grafana something ELK monitoring purpose. But whereas come to Kubernetes, okay, everything it will comes under like a default. Once you up the Kubernetes, okay, default you will get the like Grafana, Kibana, Prometheus, all the things. Okay, there are a lot of advantage is compared like Docker. That is the reason. So you know, guys, right? In this Docker, they remove the like a Docker Swarm. Okay, now everyone are using the Kubernetes only for orchestration purpose and like auto scaling purpose, deployment, application deployment, everything.
Cool. Nice.
Okay, so I'm on this mainly I'm focusing on like Kubernetes only, like Kubernetes and Docker, then Ansible. So I'm going to teach you like all the like from scratch onwards. Like so basically developers write the code. Okay, then they will have the something. So from all the continuous integration part. Okay, so and one more thing. Okay, so there we have the one option is there like pull request means just I'm saying. So once a developer commit the code to a repository, it's like a source code management. So without our help, so without our help, Jenkins will build the job. Okay, with the help of PR request, pull request. Okay, it will create a one webhook. I will teach you like all the things, but just I'm saying. Okay, so with the help of PR request, it will build the job. Okay. So once the job is done, okay, in this Jenkins only we can configure the Ansible. If you want like Ansible, we can use like Ansible. If you want to configure like any Kubernetes, we can configure like Kubernetes. If you want to configure like any Docker, we can do. So once the job is done, so automatically it will build like all the containers, something Ansible playbook, something everything. So what are the things we configure? So everything to deploy. Okay, that is the main advantage. So the like lot of advantages there. So
Uh, Hello, Praveen. I have one question.
yeah, please.
See, running, if suppose if you are running Kubernetes in AWS, which way is better? Either running MySQL databases as a service or running databases in containers, which one it is better?
Yeah, so by suggestion we can run on like a container only. Okay, so that is like a light, very lightweight. So we can use like as a container.
Yeah, but AWS provides there are many MySQL as a service, so we no need to worry anything about like high availability and also. Suppose if you are running in a container, so is there any master topology you have implemented or master slave?
Yeah, so it depends on So it depends on requirements we can use. If you want to like service based, we can use like service. But most of the companies, most of the clients, I mean, maybe so 60% we can use like as a container. Okay, maybe 30-40% we can use like as a service. Okay.
If you are go with the container, how do you taking care of the high availability or like disaster recovery or other like kind of stuff in container for MySQL?
Yeah, I will teach you like all the things once Kubernetes is like a complete picture.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Uh, anyone guys? Yeah, Ramani, I think my side is I'm good.